I'm live, so I'm going to go with it. And we're live. Welcome, everyone. Oh, shit, what are we doing? Oh, yes! I did actually forget. Another political recap stream here on the Moisky Live channel. Hi. Professional, as always. Joining me, as always, for these, I've said that twice now, that sounds weird, is Trups LP. Say hello, Trups LP.
Hello, Trups LP.
How is Trups today?
Trups LP is good. He is sipping on a beer.
You got beer. I got some beer. What kind of beer you got?
Michelob Ultra low-cal beer.
I have Iron Maiden.
It's better for you, less beer belly.
I got Iron Maiden. My corner shop, for some odd reason, bought because if anyone knows Iron Maiden, the band, well enough, they make their own beer. And
yes, of course.
Well,
and if you are some sort of fancy actor, you make some sort of alcohol.
Yeah, that's true. With Iron Maidens, though, the bottle caps are highly sought after because they are the album covers for all their records, and you can get a connector for your bike that goes where the like the steering block bit is, the handlebars, and you can attach it to that with a bit.
You can attach.
Very
can attach the alcohol.
The bottle cap, not the drink.
Oh.
But yeah,
I feel like that's kind of dangerous to attach the alcohol bottle to your
after
your
the bike
bike.
after the bike ride I went on last Saturday, I needed that beer. But yeah, Trooper is a good beer, Saki. I agree. That's the Iron Maiden beer. I bought. I don't know why they got it in though, because it makes no sense how they got it when it's really an official band merch. You don't see it normally in the shops. And they had they had 3 originally, and they said to me, Meg, how many do you want? And I just said yes. So the guy went out the back, he bought all of them. There was 14 in total. I looked at them. There was only 8 album covers. I was quite annoyed. There's a few missing. But, yeah, they were really good, yeah. I really enjoyed it. And then it reminded me Motorhead do a tequila, and I'm like, I've got to get that. Okay. So before we carry on, Saki, hi. Celestial Rogue, hi. Cyrene, hello. G-Manic, hi. Clotthop blocked you, I know she did. Right. It's been a bit of a weird week here for me, because we've had lots of building work going on with the log cabin under construction. My dad acquired a digger, which today he came over, which is why there's been no This Week at Twitter, because after this stream, I have to then disappear semi-quickly to start making that video. I've done the notes for it, but I was out in the garden all day prepping this land to be leveled on Sunday. Hello, Georgia Peaches. Hope you're well. And it's been really Peaches. That sounds familiar. It took ages. But with the digger, oh my god, it was so much fun. I even got to try it, which was really... I mean, I did alright, actually. I didn't make any mistakes. But I ended up serving as ballast, because when we lifted up a 1-ton bag of sand... it tipped it slightly, the digger. So I grabbed the bars at the back and pulled and just used myself as weight, which acted as enough of a counterweight to keep it balanced, which is really
that just
fat
sounds
shaming.
like you're like just swinging on a rope.
It was a part of the metal frame, to be fair, of the roof of the digger, and I mean it just makes me sound like I'm fat or something, like really heavy. Not really, but enough that I could balance it long enough for him to get the bag of sand into place. Because then on Sunday, when we do the hardcore on the sand to level it fully, it's closer to the fence. So because we don't have the digger the digger's on the drive, but we don't have it anymore after tonight. It's getting picked up tomorrow, so we'll have to do it by hand. But it's nearer, so we're not having to do as many trips with a wheelbarrow. And I'm exhausted, and I'm covered in bruises from where I got bashed about by things. Because as others have pointed out today with the work we were doing, I was going to put my greatest gift, my mind, to the test by doing this. So naturally, I did all the heavy lifting.
Yes, mind over matter.
And it was very funny because yesterday I think it was, we got these sleepers in, the railway sleepers, to do some border. And my father had suggested doing them together, and I simply picked up the biggest one, just put it over my shoulder and walked away, to which my sister says, "You're not about to let your son show you up, are you?" And he's like, he's strong, of course he is, But he's like, fuck, am I having my son outshine me? The funnier part was that I had 2 on my shoulder, and he hadn't noticed. Yeah, it's that leg strength. But yeah, it's been
Always
busy.
live with your legs, not your back.
Exactly, and I had leg day at the gym today, so you know, I've got the leg strength. It's all good. It's been a very busy. It's why there hasn't been much content as well, because this project is important, but it's not stopping me. It's just slowing me down, which is why after the stream I'll get on with that. And this week at Twitter will be late, but it will be out. But it won't be patron access, sadly. I do apologise to patrons who would ordinarily get it early, but I will have to go to bed straight away, because I've got another long day tomorrow. What about yourself, Mr.
I have to work. I have to work tomorrow too.
Oh, do you?
Technically, today's supposed to be my day off. It wasn't.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's all right.
So, what's been going on then?
Oh, it's just been more work. Basically, just trying to keep up with contract times.
Okay.
Getting shit done as you can.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're getting stuff done at least. That's great news. Okay, so where should we start today? Would you like to start with some Brexit news, some Boris news, some American news? Your choice.
Well, you want to touch upon some of the random American news? We'll do an American a sandwich, if you will.
Okay, we'll save the thumbnail for last, shall we? Because I mean that's important. But do you want to go through the topics I've put in our little chat, or do you want to talk about other things instead?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's honestly, we could spend the entire time talking about the DNC, but God, there was something that we were talking. Oh, let's talk about the pardon thing.
Okay, context here is, I saw Styx Hexenhammer had tweeted out, "Who do you think Trump will pardon on Tuesday?" He says it's someone very important. The names in it were Julian Assange, Paul Manafort, Joe Exotic, or other. And I thought, by the way, the one he might have left out of that would be Edward Snowden. I was like, that would be a huge curveball and quite a distraction. Yeah.
Turned out to be none of those.
Yeah, it was none. Who was it?
It was Susan B. Anthony.
Who is Susan B. Anthony? I don't know who she is.
So, the reason why he pardoned them, so it was 100 years since the first state basically gave women the right to vote. It was Tennessee, by the way.
Really?
Yes.
Damn.
And Susan B. Anthony was a person who actually defied their local laws and had actually voted illegally. Well, at that point in time, and she had never been, presidentially pardoned for that, well, what's it called? I guess transgression, the crime that she had committed. So, as a purely symbolic act, Donald Trump pardoned Susan B. Anthony, and she's a very, very important historical activist in our lifetime, advocating for things such as women's rights, as well as some other key components. But in this case, women's rights to vote was the kicker here.
So she's long since deceased?
Yes, very much so.
Right. Well, that's a really... Actually,
but she's on our silver dollar.
That's quite a... I don't... It's not... Okay, so... Actually, you know what? I'll put my thought out in a second. Hello to...
The gold coin, actually.
Legal Lizard. Hello to Karma. Hello, Whiskerbin. The bat soup is delicious. Thank you, Pincalo, the driving it for the $2 donation. Hello, the James Show. Hope you're well. I honestly would have loved Joe Exotic, by the way. Susan B. Anthony, is it?
Yes.
Right. I kind of expected him to pardon someone as a distraction. You know what I mean? In the sense of, go for someone like Assange, because honestly, that would throw the news off him. Hello, wasted demise. It just, that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And but then this one is so it doesn't feel political. It just feels like the right thing to do.
Well, it is political in the sense that it's almost something that you would expect a president to just do sometimes. Like,
Well,
okay,
you
it's
know what?
100 years since the first state basically ratified this. By the
Yeah.
way, she had died before that even happened.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I don't mean in the sense of like something. Well, it is political if you're going to be really anal. What I mean is just it doesn't. It doesn't feel like a political move that benefits him really, other than to say.
it's not a partisan political move.
Yeah, it's not. It's just it was the right thing to do. That's really. It feels strange.
No, and I totally get that. It just as it turns out, it was something that he just did, and I would expect this from almost any politician, honestly. Like, excluding the ongoing political conflict that we have in this country right now. This would just be kind of like a boring thing that like only the people who are like really paying attention would be like, oh, that was a good thing that person did.
Yeah.
It seems almost like a purely symbolic, like political kudos that somebody in that position gets to do to make them look. It's almost like virtue signaling politically.
Yes.
But like, there's also no like reason not to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there is a reason not to do it, being that it's purely symbolic and has absolutely no bearing on real life at this point in time. But it's not something that has a negative like recourse.
So, interestingly in the chat, first of all, hello Mel, hope you're well. Hello Slim. Pincalo mentions, but he did pardon Susan as a distraction. He did it specifically to troll the left. They are just eating him alive with this, and it's hilarious because their bullets are just bouncing off. And hello Spider Geronimo, hope you're well. Do you think that's...
Yeah, so that's an interesting one because yes, that did happen. It's almost like it didn't need to. Like,
just proving the point they don't like anything he does ever, really.
Well, that's really the thing. Susan B. Anthony was one of the most like. I don't think there's many people alive today who would be like that Susan B. Anthony bitch before Trump pardoned her. But then after Trump pardoned her, my God, I mean, you had a bunch of people who were kind of split on the topic. You had people who were like, "Oh, this is, who does he think he is? This is absolute bullshit." Which I'm just like, "Oh, okay." And then there were other people who, in their zealous attempt to make Orange Man bad, called out Susan B. Anthony for being racist.
Oh, of course. Because now you have to find a way to devalue and deconstruct the person you are, who's being championed because they're being championed by Orange Man Bad.
Correct.
It's
which
kind of
is
tragic.
Which is kind of weird because Susan B. Anthony has actually she's worked with the American Equal Rights Association.
They're racist too now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were anti-slavery, in fact. So, I mean, it's a weird push for the Democratic media. I'm only going to say the Democratic media because I don't think the DNC at all gives a fuck. I think they were just like, damn, all right,
Well,
fine, he gets that one.
busy trying to find ways to champion. Well, we'll get to that later. Actually, we'll get to that later.
But media, like, blue checky fucking Twitters, just absolutely would spurg at any opportunity.
Can we just call those who are blue check marks and identify as a journalist on Twitter the equivalent to a Yelp reviewer? Because they're just shit.
It's pretty accurate. Oh, by the way, the Susan B. Anthony Museum rejects the President Trump's pardon of the suffragette. Like, the fucking museum.
Why did they reject it?
I don't know.
They want to keep her as a victim or something.
Well, according to the New Yorker, it was, I don't want to be on a Wikipedia page with Roger Stone.
Who's Roger Stone?
It was another guy on Trump's campaign team that got arrested and then pardoned.
Convenient.
Because basically they were like they were pushing for a lot of charges against him.
Were they?
Like that was the one where he was like supposed to get sentenced for like 9 years as like a 68-year-old man for like oh god, it was like 3 counts of mostly I think it was contempt or something like that.
Is that it?
It was contempt, fraud, and like something else, but like the fraud was minuscule. I think I don't remember entirely.
If I was gonna hammer someone for anything, I'd
I'm
hammer
sure
them for fraud,
the chat will tell me what the fuck I did wrong.
Oh right, she loses the power of voting against the rule. That's he's still.
She's dead. She's dead. She died in 1906. It doesn't matter. Like I get the museum, but like who the fuck cares?
Yeah, I agree with you on this one. It was the right thing to do. It doesn't take away from what they did or what they stood for. It
right.
merely,
and this is a
for the record,
act
clears it.
as a homage, an acceptance, a symbol that we have moved past the era where the president was like, no, what she did wasn't wrong.
It wasn't, was it?
100 years later, right? Like it's symbolic. No, like there's no recourse to this. So everyone who like freaks out about it, it's like, guys, it means nothing. Okay?
I would say, by the way, I
nothing.
don't know what Susan B. Anthony did in her lifetime. She may have broken a law somewhere. I don't know.
She did. I mean, physically she did, yes. But it's more like the law was based in what people would consider nowadays a blatant misrepresentation of the Constitution, where every person is created equal under God, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I understand.
So, like, in the spirit of the Constitution, no, they didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
And I say in the spirit because the wording gets a little dicey when it says the word man, as opposed to woman. But we take that to mean humanity. That's why I say in the spirit of the Constitution.
How about we just go for carbon-based life forms?
Honestly,
it might be easier. I'm glad that this. I mean, I would have loved it to have been a real to me, that's a curveball, because it's not.
Yeah.
It's not what I would have thought would get the bigger distraction. It just further proves the point, because Trump must hate. Hello, cynical Lindsay, by the way. I hope you're well. It's just, how was she racist?
That's
Karma,
really
that's
what
the
it
thing.
boils down to. Trump did it. It's bad.
Yeah. Karma also mentioned, how was she racist? You yourself mentioned, obviously she wasn't. This is just further proving the hating cause, and we must now deconstruct the person. I just don't see the point. Okay. So, does he pardon on a regular basis? Trump, that is.
Not really. I wouldn't say so. But I'm sure, like, if I actually looked, I'm sure he's pardoned at least consistently. I hear about it more often, I suppose.
I think we hear about it a lot more because people are complaining about who he is.
Yeah, that's also true. I do hear about just generally more when it comes to Trump, but I don't know.
I don't recall ever hearing Obama do it, but I'm sure he did.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I don't have enough information on that one.
It's not reported. I can't imagine why. Okay. So what should we talk about next?
So let's jump into that Brexit news. I'm interested to find out what's going on.
Sure. Right. Hang on. Go through sources here. Right. Michel Barnier has again added to the constructive conversations by saying in a speech that a deal is now inevitable and unlikely. Inevitably unlikely in that sense, and that he's disappointed and concerned because we, the UK, are not playing fair ball with them. We're not being flexible. We're not being willing to work with them.
Like, what do they want?
They want access to our fishing waters. They want us to play to abide their fair play rules, so we don't undercut other
I want
boats.
your shit, and if you don't give it to me, I'ma be upset.
Yep. They also want us to obey them on state aid rules when it comes to helping other nations and stuff, and the fair play rule, which is simply we cannot undercut any business that's a member of the EU. And I'm like, you fucking what, mate? No, piss off. If we want to undercut you cunts, we're going to undercut you. You know why?
Yeah,
because
that's how negotiations work.
We're not a member. We don't. I hate being like this rude about it, but seriously, we don't have to. You're not allowed to touch our waters. That's 12 miles out from our sea. You don't touch it from our land. You're not allowed to touch any of that. Don't go near it. Our fisheries are better than any of yours, which is why you pull in several 100,000 tons worth of it every year, and you rake in millions from it, hundreds of millions from our waters. And we, while fishing in your waters, make exactly a sixth of it. Because your fish is trash. Right? Improve your fisheries and then stop looting ours. If you can't do that, go somewhere else. Simple as that.
Would you actually consider it something like actually like looting? Like, or are you being hyperbolic, or are you actually like saying like it?
I'm being hyperbolic. It's fine. It more of a sense of,
you know, it may be a valid concept.
Well, the other issue here is their rules, their fishery rules. Now, quotas, I have no issue with. It's the issue I have. It's how they handle the fish that don't fit within certain size and weight size requirements. Basically, you just throw it all back in dead, and I'm like, I'm sorry. Why? Because now they're going to fish even more to get the correct size. Yes, they brought in a massive net, and some of those fish don't fit the bill in size. But you're now just throwing the fish back into the water dead. What's the point? You're now just going to go carry on fishing more until you get what you're looking for. How about you just stop abusing it? Okay? And no, they shouldn't be allowed to touch our waters. Simple as that. They're ours. If you can make $600 or $700 million or pounds a year from our waters, I think that should be for British fishermen to go for first. And second, and third, and let's just continue because you shouldn't be allowed to touch our waters. We get a higher yield with a smaller space. What does that tell you about our fisheries? It's really good. Therefore, as a commodity for the UK, especially our economy, that's a fantastic amount of money. It should be for the UK to deal with. And Mel, you're right, they're not getting it that we left, and they shouldn't get everything. And hello, Paul Johnson, by the way. The Dems know they're about to lose and don't care about the election. They're prepping the ground to spend the next 4 years accusing him of cheating. It'll be all Russian again. It probably will be, to be fair, for the US especially. The UK has, going back to Brexit, presented the EU with a draft legal text for a free trade agreement. So it does, however, ensure that we regain, they're calling it sovereign control of our laws, borders and waters. But no, the EU are like, nah fam, we want your waters, mate. And we're all sat back like, piss off. You're not allowed in our waters. And the fair play thing, I mean, come on, think about it, right? So you say let's just pretend your country isn't a superpower, right? It isn't the biggest at all. Let's go with that, yeah? Entertain me. Pretend you're British for a moment, yeah, Trups?
Yeah, I can do that.
Cool.
I think.
Right. So you're in charge of negotiating a trade deal for the UK, because that's what we're doing now. And they tell you you're not allowed to undercut them. What do you say?
Fuck off.
Very well said. Almost cocked me.
Thank you.
Why do you say that, though?
My shit, fuck off.
But when it comes to the fair play of not undercutting other people...
Well, fair play, right? Fair play is not something that automatically means that I must be fair to you.
Yeah.
Fair means that I treat you with the relative intelligence that I would expect from somebody who is engaging in negotiations with me. Mm-hmm. If you're stupid enough to agree to a fucking agreement that undercuts you, that's fair play, and you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, some people would call that, like, taking advantage of something, but absolutely not. Just, guys, you have lawyers? Use them.
I generally think so. The fair play rule is an EU thing, right? Everyone else would have it surely.
That thing that you're not a part of?
Yeah, the thing we're not a part of. Therefore, no. If we start obeying your I'll say it correctly. If we start to obey your rules when we're not members, we haven't left. We are. It's like Theresa May's deal, which essentially meant we were essentially their whipping boy, in every sense of the word. And if they changed anything, we then had to change with them. Is the EU learnt to fish as well as the British? Well, the problem with that is they don't seem to understand that Britannia rules the waves. It's in the song. Seriously, we rule the waves, and we're just better. I'm going fishing tomorrow, by the way.
We're better than you, and we know it.
It's in the song. Unless you've got a song saying America rules the waves, get good scrub.
Hang on. Let me check our Navy's song.
Oh jeez, hang on. Is that the Yvonne Etniage one?
No. Anchors away.
You know what I mean, though. It's obviously a joke, but we just know what we're doing. I bet I catch more fish tomorrow where I am than the EU would catch in their own waters, because their waters are trash. To be fair, you
right, we don't own the seas, but part of that fucking song does say "Roll out the TNT, sail out to victory, and sink their bones to Davy Jones, hooray!"
Okay, using TNT when fishing is a very different type. That's very American dad.
Yes, it is.
And also mentioning trade deals, like comments.
Get him, son!
We have already
throw it in there.
We got all the fish. We've already signed a deal with Japan. We've already started signing deals. We've got this. We don't need you, EU. That is. There's already a petition to stop shops in this country from selling chlorinated chicken. I personally when I hear it, it sounds horrible. We've discussed this, but the process of it isn't what people think it is, and they also think chlorine is somehow poisonous in the way it's used, but they don't seem to understand.
Because they think it's chlorine gas.
Yes. They don't seem to understand. I'm sorry, if that's the case, then nobody should eat salt.
Yes, true, chloride, yes.
Exactly. Nobody should eat it. No one. I know chloride and all that, but seriously, no one should touch it.
Yes, I understand.
It's just an electronegative thing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's just really silly, and I think it's really. I probably, if we end up buying some, I will happily try it. If I can be bothered. Chances are I'll do what I did today. I was too tired to eat a dinner properly, so my sister made some pasta, plain pasta, and gave me a slice of a quiche. I like quiche. I like quiche.
I don't know why.
Not with the onion.
I have an issue with it. I'm just not a. I don't think I've had good quiche.
Because my sister has an allergy to onion. We have ones without it, and it's fantastic.
Interesting.
I make good quiche as well.
I'm
a good cook.
Keep that in mind.
Or if I ever do manage to get to the US, I'll have to make it for you. Don't worry. If you don't like it, don't worry.
Just to alert Saki, or to respond. Didn't China cuck America? I said kinda, not really. Very informative, very such clarity. Well, I'm sorry, but the answer is neither yes nor no. So it's the best you're gonna get.
As you can tell,
it's complicated.
It's
If you want me to sit and explain China's relations, we can do that.
I saw a meme about the whole, if someone says it's complicated, it's because they're too stupid, or something to that effect, to explain something to another person.
I vote lazy.
It's probably that too, to be fair. I'm going to go with that. Yeah. So yeah, in Brexit news, EU now firmly believe a deal cannot be reached, which I'm okay with.
Thank you. It's almost been like a year.
Yeah, we've been saying it anyway. WTO is fine, because the only thing that happens is all the current trade deals will cease. But those deals don't suddenly just stop anyway, and they can be renegotiated. It's not like we stop and we're like, fuck you guys, we are not going to work with you. Hello, Diskana and Zaos, XAOS. Thank you. Welcome here. I'm not a fan of eggs personally, but it's a great dish. It is a great dish. Quiche is fantastic. Quiche is absolutely delicious. But yeah, WTO, we've been talking about it for ages here, and I think we'll be fine because we've already started negotiating deals. We've got a deal. We've got some deals already with you anyway, which is why the chlorinated chicken is coming over here. Which I think, I don't know if the chicken still.
I like Paul Johnson's comment in the chat. I'm sorry, you can't put chlorine on your chicken, but dipping your kids in it in the paddling pool in the garden is fine. Because kids never swallow any pool water. Yeah, but you know it's 50% piss.
I was about to say, I just leaned into my microphone because I was about to say that, you fucker. I was going to... That's basically, kids are drinking Budweiser. Moving on.
Ah, true. No, Miller Lite.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Oh, Coors Light as well.
Honestly, any of it.
Bud Light exists as well, don't forget.
Anything that's not Heineken.
Yeah, anything. Well, and I'll give Trooper a pass. It's not piss water. That's pretty good beer, actually.
Honestly, there's good beers, but we just like taking, honestly, ironically, the piss out of.
Yeah, well, there was a beer called that. I've had it. It's my first beer. Well, second beer. Yes. Yeah. So the deals can be reached. We've got some already coming with the US and all that, so it doesn't really matter to us. We'll be fine. The only issues we've got right now are coronavirus and boosting the economy, which, by the way, on that note, I applied for on the 18th for my final grant for the self-employment incomes... Oh, excuse me, wrong time to weirdly burp. Self-employment income support scheme, or SIZE.
Income burp.
Income burp, yes. That's a weird... That doesn't sound right. And I got a grant, which is great. So I got that. That was nice. I got that today, which surprised me. It's very early to get payment like that 3 days later. Very handy though, and so I at least have a little extra change, which is nice.
Good thing to hear that your government is allowing you to have your money back.
You know, it's a wretch.
You know, I hate to go full libertarian, but it sounds like you're getting your tax money back.
The money I got basically goes on tax.
Yeah, that's the other bad part that I didn't want to mention just yet. But yes, that too.
To be fair, I had just enough to buy one guitar if I really wanted it, and I do want it. So I'm sitting there twiddling my thumbs because I can pay my tax from the work I do anyway. So I'm sort of sat there like, could I do it? Should I do it? It's tempting. It's tempting. But yeah, that's the Brexit news, really. It's just... there is more with Boris, which is quite funny. Because if you want me to carry on with that...
Sure. I mean, we can do that, and then we'll hit up the...
Boris and Carrie Simmons and his new baby, Wilfred, went for a break. They went on a holiday. They went on a camping trip in Scotland. And he pitched a tent near some water, a body of water, on some land.
This isn't an innuendo, is it?
No. But the funny part is, he didn't get... The tent's very... That's one of those really fancy ones, the fabric-y looking, like almost glamping types.
Yeah.
And they didn't get permission from the farmer to use the land. So they fucked off early. So the farmer never had a go at them, leaving his minders to go pick it up. And the best part was, there's a gate not far from where they decided to enter the property by using two very old wooden chairs to climb over the fence. So
this is Boris?
Boris, yeah.
Sounds like a 16-year-old.
Yeah, well, he does look like one half the time with his hair. Come on. But yeah, they went on a little camping. They left the tent there. They didn't ask permission from the farmer. They just you know. To be fair, if you're gonna go camping, you don't I mean, if he booked the field, it would make sense. But he did.
Well, hold on. I'm just thinking about something real quick. If I owned some land, and I found out that one day Trump and his family were camping out on my land, I think I'd have a different reaction. I think I'd be like, hello, Mr. President. Can I get you anything?
You wouldn't be able to tell them to fuck off. The Secret Service would shoot you, wouldn't they?
Oh no. I mean, they know that they couldn't really do much. But if I approached them, they would probably stop me before I got there, and then they would pat me down, and I'd be like, "Sorry, this is my land."
Oh,
Uh,
you have rights in your country. I forgot about that.
yes, we do. Enshrined in our Constitution, which we
What's
made
that?
specifically to spite your government.
Yeah, what's a constitution? It sounds like that
I don't
thing.
know. You guys should get
I
on that. Japan has one.
I thought it was I thought it was a code for bravery. My mistake.
Oh yeah, Japan got one, but only after we nuked them twice.
Only twice, huh? It didn't learn the first time.
You know, it's arguably we nuke ourselves more.
Do you? From
I
testing?
mean, you got to do tests somehow.
Yeah, I'm gonna snorkel the Nevada desert.
Yeah, pretty much actually. Arizona, Nevada, yeah.
Hey, gotta give some food back to Godzilla and the lizard people.
Yes, we need to. Wait, hold on. Isn't Area 51 in Nevada?
It is,
Wait
yeah.
a second.
Interesting to know. So with the camping thing, in Scotland, universally, English people are reviled. It's a simple fact. The Scottish SNP,
Really?
yeah, shocker. In the SNP, sarcasm saying, the SNP have done this thing where no matter what the English do in the UK government, it's always inherent. It's the Dem thing with Trump, basically, and so English people, by and large, are treated as if they are the constant enemy because they control the Scotland, and I just think.
I kind of get it. There is historical relevance there.
Generally true. If someone camps in your field, normally farmers don't really give much of a damn. I think the issue right now is exacerbated because people are going on their little staycations in fields. My dad told me about one earlier. There's this field somewhere in the southwest. I can't remember the name. I've got the word Tristan in my head, but I don't think that's what it's called. And it's only open, this field, for 1 month of the year. And people will pay through the nose to get onto this field. And I'm sat back and I asked my dad, and I thought, why? And he goes camping. Yeah, he goes on those a lot. He's going in a few weeks, I think. And people obviously doing this because they can't go abroad. And I asked him what's so special about this field, and he simply said, literally nothing. It's just the fact that it's only open for 1 month of a year. And I'm like, I'm sorry, that is not. No, it's
exclusive, damn it.
Yeah, that doesn't, to me, because it doesn't have any extra facilities. It's just a field. That's all it is. And I'm like, this is not special. This is just a way to rip people off.
This is what a lot of urban people think about what the countryside is, right? But the countryside is beautiful if that's what you're going for. Like, if you're going to the countryside because you want to see the countryside and you want to, like, I don't know, camp in said countryside, then really your last thought is, do I have internet out here?
See, because I grew up in Smallfield. I grew up surrounded by farms. In all this,
Yeah, so you understand.
Yeah, but it's not that I think because of that, I take it for granted. It is beautiful, yes, but to pay so much, I mean, people are paying a lot anyway to go to other places that were nearly fully booked anyway. My sister tried to get a hotel for 2 nights, maybe on a weekend, to take her and her daughter away. How's it only open to campers for 1 month of the year? I think it's used for something else the rest of the time. Perhaps it's used for grazing or some kind of something. I couldn't tell you,
especially if you guys have subsidies like we do.
I couldn't say because he didn't go into any more detail other than that, and I just thought it's a rip-off. Why don't you just go to a normal camper site and just enjoy yourself? People are now, people are only doing it now though in this country because they can't go abroad, and I can 100% respect that. I really can. But these people, they're taking dongles, and they're just using their phones.
I was gonna say, like, are you using dongle in the same way that I understand the word dongle to mean?
Not dingle dongle. Yes.
No, like a Wi-Fi dongle.
Yeah. USB thing, plug in, go.
Yeah.
I
At first, I was like, hold on, is this a British term, or is this the same colloquially understanding term?
My sister has such bad internet where she lives, she has to use a dongle, and it costs like 100, 200 a month almost just to keep it, data going. It's insanely expensive, and it's only because where she lives there is virtually no signal at all, and then no lines either. So
I was gonna say, like, you can't use any of your wireless plans.
Thing is,
that's
she doesn't even live out in like the sticks. She just lives surrounded by a bunch of old people. That's all it is. That's the only reason they've never bothered to put decent lines in there. And Lloyd Watson, thank you for the £3 donation. That's very generous of you. But yeah, I had considered, like, because I obviously mentioned many times, I have not been on holiday since I was 11 years old. And I had considered just doing one of these, like, Airbnbs or going camping or something. But in reality, I think I still can't get past the hang-up at the idea of going on a holiday because it feels strange, Which is why I'd thought of going just when I got the passport, just going to the States, because then it's forced. You know what I mean? Like, I have to go on a holiday.
You have to do other shit.
Yeah,
and then you can go and visit me and Karma and all your other friends.
I thought we were just going to go shooting.
We can do that.
Can
my state and her.
Let's go LARPing.
I've got passes. I've got range passes. We can go.
Introduce me to your LARP friends. I'll see how quick it takes for them to literally hit me with a banhammer.
Oh, they wouldn't do that. They're honestly, if you just don't talk politics, they'll be fine.
I don't talk politics most of the time, to be fair.
My LARP friends are typically democratically associated, and
I understand.
It's a miracle that they even tolerate me.
Yeah, but I would have thought that, if even without the politics, it must be quite difficult for them.
Oh yes, indeed, I am quite the asshole.
See, acceptance is the
shall
first
we talk
stage.
about the DNC now?
We could, yeah. I only had one other thing quickly about.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, a group of politicians have threatened legal action against Boris Johnson unless Boris Johnson orders an independent investigation into Russian interference in elections.
Wait, I'm sorry. What?
Okay, so a letter signed by Green MP Karen Lucas, Labour's Chris Bryant, who went for the leadership, a Speaker of the House of Commons before losing to Lindsay Hoyle, came second actually. They, a number of other MPs, have threatened legal action against Boris unless he orders an independent investigation into Russian interference in elections.
The one that turned your entire country red.
Totally, yes.
Has it occurred to any of these people that the reason why it turned red wasn't because of Russians, but because the rest of the normal people think you're fucking insane?
Well, there are two other things they're referencing as well. One of which is the 2016 EU referendum. The other...
Oh my god.
They're Ramonas, yes. There was one other, though, which somehow is apparently relevant to us. Do you want to take a wild guess what they think is somehow relevant to us?
Trump? Is it Trump?
It is! Interfering in the 2016 presidential election. Congratulations, 10 points to your respective Hogwarts house.
Slytherin's got a bunch of points after I keep doing this shit.
They're absolutely crushing it this season. It's just, they genuinely, these Ramonas are looking for anything. Or rejoin us.
Okay, I understand that. But does anybody see the irony that, for all intents and purposes, ally or not, a foreign nation would perform an investigation into foreign election interference in the United States election?
Yep.
Does anyone else see the irony?
No.
I do. But they don't.
No, they don't see anything. They're absolutely
That's hilarious.
clueless.
That's fucking retarded.
It is quite amusing, I will say. But yeah, that happened. That's going on. Let's talk about the DNC, which is appropriate, really.
Okay. Let's go
that.
from one dumpster fire to another one.
Yeah. Where do you want to start with this? Do you want to go with Obama?
Okay.
Michelle Obama, Bill Clinton.
Let's start with the overview. The
on,
DNC, the Democratic National Convention, actually was held this week. And there have been some interesting things that have happened during this week that have some people scratching their heads and some people laughing and some people thinking this is the best time to be an American, which is a really weird shift from the week before.
There was something interesting I noticed early on, and it was that people were championing one person, former president, in fact, and yet by the standards of the policies he set in place during his two terms, not Barack but Mr. Bill, he'd be Me Too'd. And also, how can someone slam someone else for what they do in the Oval Office when he got a blowjob?
That was one of the greatest comments that I had actually seen during that convention.
Oh, really? It was a comment. I didn't realize.
The commentary from the fucking conservatives going, all right, out of all the people to say that Donald Trump is bringing dishonor to the office of the presidency, Mr. I got a blowjob from Monica Lewinsky and put a cigar in her pussy. I have a feeling that wasn't your best representative for that statement.
New.
Now, that's just me, though. Apparently, the Democrats thought it was a genius idea.
Honestly.
At least they didn't have Hillary Clinton show up and talk. Or did they?
Oh, hang on. Something popped. Is it? Pincalo, they think Interpol are literally international.
Yes, by the way, I want to also mention that, yes, Hillary Clinton did speak at the Democratic.
I know, I'd heard about that as well.
I wanted to put that one out there because I do know it was a meme.
I had heard about that. That made me chuckle.
So, the Democratic National Convention was Monday to Thursday, and basically what you had was I guess the conservative media is describing it as a who's who of I guess the Democratic the party at this point in time. AOC was there. AOC made some waves when she didn't endorse Biden and instead endorsed Bernie Sanders.
So I'd heard that's standard procedure to do that.
You can do that, yeah. I mean, the thing is, she doesn't need to endorse Biden, technically, but it shows a sense of unity.
Okay.
But in this case, unity kind of went out the window.
Oh, did it?
Well, with this, it's almost more like a progressive slap in the face. It's more like they said, hey, remember that person you cheated out of the 2016 election that probably could have beat Trump in the first case, and he tried again this time. Instead, you put a dementia-ridden old man in the White House who's been in Congress for about 50 years and actually was a vice president of one of the more recent worst economies that apparently Barack Obama said, Trump, you can't fix it. There's no magic wand that'll make the GDP increase by 4%. And then it did. Oh, yeah, by the way, they also started that whole kids in cages thing. No one wants to talk about that, but you know.
Yeah, a bit of whistling going on there for that.
So, yeah, I kind of get why she said, no, I don't feel like endorsing Biden. But it does look like, or at least it makes the appearance, of dissension, I guess, dissension among the ranks. And even if she was asked to do that, it doesn't look good. You know what I mean? Like, from an outside observer, asked to or not, it doesn't bode well, especially for the fact that there are plenty of progressives still out there, still pissed. I know, I get it. The Democrats asked her to do that, but it doesn't make it look any better. The Democrats also endorsed several wars in the Middle East. It didn't make it any better. Everyone was in agreement when we waged war after 9/11. Still wasn't a good idea. In hindsight. But, so, I mean, that's just one thing, right? Barack Obama spoke, Michael Bloomberg spoke, Andrew Yang spoke, Buttigieg spoke, fucking John Kasich, former Republican governor of Ohio, spoke. But he's a bit of a fucking turncoat bitch.
Why is that?
Well, he appears to be more like the old establishment Republicans, the ones that would have put up John McCain and Mitt Romney, and
Okay.
not the ones that endorse Trump. John Kasich has been very outwardly critical of Donald Trump's opinions, and the only thing about that is that, well, okay, no one likes you anyway, and
It does come
you can
across
go
as
fuck-
salty, by the way. Just saying.
Oh, it's super salty. I'm pretty sure he actually ran for president and didn't even. He got some nominations, I think, in some states during primaries, but I don't think it was even remotely covered because it was just so fucking bad. So it's really kind of interesting because all these people spoke, and all of these individual politicians basically all said one thing, and it was that Donald Trump has led us into this terrible economy, this terrible place, and Joe Biden can help us build back better. Apparently, that's the slogan they're going with. Yes, please. And I'm a little confused because, as you had mentioned, the economy under Obama, right, wasn't the best. We'll put it that way. We'll be a little nice. Wasn't the best economy. But we have individuals out there who basically want to blame all of the results and the consequences of COVID on Trump. Basically, it's his fault that we're in this situation. There is an argument to be made, but it kind of falls flat. Because at the end of the day, Trump did not release COVID. But it doesn't matter because it's a good speaking point for all of them. And they have made sure to talk about it. And they have basically mentioned that Trump has led us into darkness, into a horrible situation, and that Joe Biden will be, well, ironically, the light at the end of the tunnel. And I think, ironically, he'll be seeing a light at the end of the tunnel probably before the end of a first term if he had gotten elected. So that's really what we had going on the entire time during the DNC. Apparently, I haven't read it yet, but apparently they did roll out actual policy positions, which is incredible because we haven't seen a whole lot of that recently. A lot of their, basically, all their bitching and moaning has been basically feelings based on Donald Trump's actions. So this is a little interesting to know that we finally have some kind of policy positions. Do you want to guess what the three main things that they want to fix are?
No. I do not. I'd love you to tell me, though.
The economy.
Of course.
Racial inequity.
Okay.
And healthcare.
Healthcare, I get. Racial inequity, I'm not sure how you're going to fix that.
Typical Democratic point, yeah.
And I'll be honest, their version of economy, from what I've seen, is spend. And if you're going to do with racial inequity, that's going to include spending, isn't it?
Oh, almost their entire plan is filled with tax hikes.
That's not going to win.
Nope. No.
Surely they know
tax
this.
hikes and spending. Traditional Democratic their typical MO. Let's put it that way.
If they do tax hikes, people aren't going to vote for it.
No, of course not. But a lot of people would rather vote for them than Donald Trump, and that's really, I think, what they're banking on. It looks sometimes that the entirety of the Democratic platform is at least he's not Trump, which still kind of boggles the mind because, honestly, besides him being an asshole, is there really anything wrong with him?
Well, that's the problem there is, over the last 4 years, many have said he has done quite a lot wrong when it came to trans rights, even though that was being eroded. There wasn't really what they're referring to wasn't legal, and it wasn't all enshrined in law, and it was already being destroyed anyway under a previous administration. And then you can insert his attacks on certain communities based on whatever they've been able to use their gifts, i.e. Certain mainstream media outlets that have a larger voice to make certain arguments that he is racist, he is sexist, he is homophobic, and so on. Just by abusing.
I mean, the argument does exist. I don't deny that. I think it's a bad argument because it doesn't accept the fact that things are more complicated than just a person said something mean, therefore he is unapologetically a racist.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest here real quick. Do you think that if somebody says something edgy or racy, that they are automatically a bad person?
Oh, they're not a bad person.
Do you think that maybe they have, less tact? Maybe a no filter, a bad mouth?
It's possible that. I guess it depends on the context. Full context would really help. But generally, I don't think it was a bad
the
person.
idea essentially is that, okay, Trump has said things that people don't like, but he also has done a lot for minority communities.
Mm-hmm.
Under his economy, in the first 2-3 years, up until January, black unemployment was the lowest it's been in history. Now compare that with California wanting to literally remove the provision of the California Constitution that allows you to discriminate hiring practices based on race. Sometimes I wonder if the problem with ever bringing this kind of shit up is because some of these self-described Democrat intellectuals will say, well, that's whataboutism.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not, because it's the same topic. It's just in another location. So how can you say that this is something that needs to be addressed? Well, at the same time, you are literally doing the bad thing. It's almost like it's willful ignorance to your own hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that whataboutism is something that people just dismiss, because a lot of it has very valid aspects in the in the grander scheme of things. I hate that thing. Oh, it's whataboutism. Fuck off, all you people! I swear.
So DNC went really well, by the way.
I mean, the DNC went interestingly. There was a couple of moments that people thought were cringy as fuck. I want to point out that they did a lot of America loving, right? Like they were respecting the flag. Joe Biden's grandkids led the Pledge of Allegiance, and I was like, hang on, weren't just a week ago you guys were all all right with people leaving the room for the national anthem? Wasn't that a thing? Yes, it was.
Wait, that was the thing?
Yeah, a women's hockey team or a women's NBA team literally left the room while the national anthem was playing.
How did anyone know?
What do you mean?
I was being a dick.
What do you mean they don't know? I'm like, they very much knew. They did that on purpose.
What I meant was they didn't have an audience.
Oh, yeah, well, that's fair.
I was being a dick, sorry.
Oh, how did anyone know? I see.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I think the irony, honestly, is who cares?
Thing is, I do like basketball. Oddly enough, I have been known to. I do watch it, but I watch a lot of sports usually, and I will watch men and women because it is. I don't watch generally. I don't watch women's tennis because I can't stand the grunting. I do watch, but I do watch women's football. I watch women's snooker, and I do watch some women's basketball when I see videos of it because it is quite competitive. I find it very interesting. So I'm just being a dick for the sake of it.
There are some women's sports that get fucking like rage-inducing, and I kind of love it.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
With the DNC, would you like to summarize what you thought of it?
So Joe Biden accepted his nomination yesterday.
Yeah.
In his speech, he said he was going to be an ally for the light against the darkness. And I think it's a very strange ploy, a strange tact to say that. It's basically what he's saying by saying that is that the current administration is literally like a analogy to evil.
That is really strange for a Sith Lord to say it.
Right? Like it's quite literally like if you are going to be the archetypal light against the darkness, you are calling Trump and his administration objectively evil.
Isn't that normal in politics to go for the enemy like that?
No, it's not. Well, just in the last I guess the last 4 or 5 years. No, I'll take that back. There have been instances of this in history. It's never consistent. There are individuals who will say this person is genuinely evil. There are plenty of conservatives who called Hillary Clinton literal evil. This didn't always exist, but it has gotten worse over the years. So I will recant that previous statement and with that addendum.
It's on the record.
So is my correction.
Exactly.
If I were to summarize it, I think they're shooting the wrong shot.
You think so?
I think I do. I think they're going after the wrong idea. Because one of the things that they told Trump not to necessarily do. Oh, by the way, Joe Biden's speech was immaculate.
Was it?
No stuttering. Finished every sentence. It was incredible, actually. It was a very good and well delivered speech. So it kind of shoots everyone in the foot for saying that he can't say things. But again, this was a recorded speech. So no telling how many takes it took or what went on beforehand. That being said, though, attacking Joe Biden on sleepy Joe Biden or dementia-ridden Biden becomes a little harder after that kind of display. Right?
Yeah, you're right.
So now it's ideal to attack him on policy. Well, at the same time, the DNC, who know full well what the tactics of Trump have been, are kind of, I don't want to say they're leading him because I don't think they're that smart, or I think they're too proud to realize that they're kind of being led on by Trump. Now they basically have to accept the fact that, well, Donald Trump is now going to attack you on policy, so you better be fucking ready for policy, because your candidate has been in Congress for 47 years. And some of these problems still exist. Let's go. Let's see those politic and literal positions on issues. Let's see that take the forefront instead of BS yelling at at candidates for their traits. Let's put it that way. But you know that if Trump does that, the media won't stop. Rather, you know they'll keep attacking him on that front too.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to keep up the attack on both fronts. That way he doesn't appear weak on any one particular field of battle, we'll call it. Republican National Convention's next week. Starts on Monday.
Should be interesting.
Should be. Notable differences. The RNC is going to feature a lot more live in-person speeches. Whereas the DNC was almost entirely virtual. I say almost entirely because there was a drive-in portion.
That sounds weird.
Yeah. First one in history. A drive-in DNC.
No, it's really weird. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, that's next week.
That is next week. We can definitely talk about it then, I guess. Is there anything you'd like to shill before we finish? Because we're actually we're done.
Not quite. I may put out a video tomorrow. No promises. I'm working tomorrow.
I might have to postpone this week at Twitter for today and put it out on Sunday instead.
I kept him too long.
No, it's not that. I'm getting tired and I have to do something else before I go to bed. So I will postpone this evening. That's fine. I have some responsibilities to take care of first. Thank you all very much for joining and for the incredible generosity. We will be back here next week. So say good night,
Yes, we
Trups.
will.
We will, yes, indeed.
Good night, Trups.
Good night, Trups.